What's up, guys? Shocking Santana here. Today, I'm here to bring you guys a deck profile of my Dimensional Robo deck that you guys see me use on the channel many times before. It's about time for this deck profile. I've been delaying it enough. I don't know why. Work, school, all that good stuff. But, yeah, I'm going to show you guys the deck. Yeah, let's get right into it. So, your starters going to be Die Shoot. Skill is when you put them into the soul. You get your Vanguard gets plus 4K, and when your Vanguard attack hits, you just pop a unit, retire. So, yeah, good card. Next up, we got dropping cards. 4 of the Break Ride combos into your Legion. Counter Blast 1, when you break right on top of him, your Vanguard gets plus 10,000 power, and until the end of the turn, your Vanguard gets a skill. Whenever time you reveal a grade 3, you get to pop one of your Guardians, your opponent's Guardians. Next up, we got for the Legion. You break ride over him. You get 10k, and then when your mate is has 2 criticals, which means the Great has to have 3 dimensional robos in its name in the soul. It gets a crit. So when your mate gets a crit, it gets a skill. Whenever you reveal a grade 3, you get to pop Counter Blast 1, pop one of your Guardians, one of your opponent's Guardians. So if you break right on top of him, you get to pop 2 for a Counter Blast of 1. And so that means if you reveal 2, you get to pop 4. So, when you're twin drive. So next up, Great Dayusha, the mate. Really nothing to say about this. She's just the mate. Oh. Next up, we have 4 12k attackers. The 12k attackers are basically in here just to... They're very situational. When you don't get Laurel off, you can put him behind him, and he gets 16k, so magic numbers for the column, because his 12k and then Laurel's 4k. Really good. Really good. More pressure, too. Next up, we have 4 Dabazuka. This card has mainly it's won me games where it's also won me lost games. I'm not lying. When you reveal this card, when you drive check this card, you have to soul charge 1. You have to do the soul charge. You soul charge 1, unflip 1, and it counts as a grade 3. So when you break ride into him, and when you're putting back the grade 3s, or when you're legioning, you can put him back too. And then when you drive check him, it becomes a grade 3. And then you can pop 2 units when you break raid. So very good card. Also, remember, you do have to do the soul charge. So if your deck is very thin, I recommend that you don't put a lot of him back in. Next up, we have 4 Dijet. Really nothing to say about this card. This card is amazing in this deck. Well, once per turn, you can put back a grade 3 on top of your deck, and then you shuffle, and then your Vanguard gets plus 4k. And then when your Vanguard attack hits your opponent's Vanguard, you get to draw a card. You Counter Blast 1, you draw a card. So it's pressure plus power. That's just a nutshell on it. And then you get to put back the grade 3, so you have enough for when you break ride, and you want to hit those grade 3s. Next up, we have 4 of the Perfect Guards, the Dimensional Robo Perfect Guards. I don't use the Unflipper. I used to, and then I play tested with Dimensional Robo. It's much better. Plus, you need to have the Dimensional Robo card name in your soul, so you can do the skill with the Legion. We got 4 Commander Laurel. People say use 3. I say no, use 4, just because of the simple fact that our meta right now is Gear Chronicle, Kaigero, and like anything. It's heavily field based meta, where if your opponent controls a field, he can kind of win the game. With this card, if they get rid of it, I can put another one out. They get rid of it, I can put another one out. I can Legion it back in. 4, I feel like it's a good number. You want to get the plus 6 off. You know how it is now. People, especially at my locals, I don't think they noticed. My friends noticed because they play test with me all the time. When you're putting the G Guardian, when you're putting that G Perfect Guard into your deck, you can't Perfect Guard your rear guard. So I can literally sit there, attack, stride into, let's say, Die Earth, attack your rear guard, triple drive, get all my triggers, whatever you want, hit your rear guard, use Laurel skill, rest 4 units, stand back up, then attack your Vanguard, and I get triple drive again. So that means I'm plussing 6 with trigger effects. It's kind of good. Especially in this game. So yeah, just 4. Keep going with 4, so. 2 10k attackers. This is basically situational. Usually if I'm playing like a Kaigero matchup or an Arakami matchup, or maybe sometimes a Gear matchup, when I'm riding like maybe my turn 2, turn 3, when I have a grade 3 Vanguard or grade 2 Vanguard, I just need something to take care of the 9Ks, so I usually just do this. So that's what it's there for. 2 limit break enablers just in case they are too scared for me to get the limit break off. That's basically what it's there for. I mean, they can hold you off at 3 damage, and then you call that out, and then, I mean, it's really good turn 2 when you're riding, and then you can call this, and then they're like, well, now I have to either get rid of that, like when they're popping stuff, they either have to get rid of that or another unit, and they're going to focus on this because they don't want you to get it. Or they can go balls to the wall and say, hey, you get the 4 damage. Next up for the triggers, we have the all-dimensional Robo triggers. We have, Jesus, I should have had them all lined up. 4 draw. A crit. You're gonna use these crits because they're good. There is this card. When you put, I'll show you right now. So when this card puts this in the soul, this trigger, the next turn you can soul blast this out of your soul and get your Vanguard plus 3k. And then if you want, so if you're, say if you're dry checking with when on your break ride, so when you have the break ride out, and this is just for dimensional for demonstrations. So say maybe turn 3, you do that, you drive check this, you soul charge this, and now you have that in the soul, and then you break ride, and then you do the Legion. If you have already 3 in the soul, you can for the requirements for the great, you can soul blast this and get your Vanguard plus 3k. Then Dijit can give your Vanguard plus 4k. Stack on stack on stack. That's pretty much how it goes. Yep, and then 4 heals. That's trigger lineup. Really just basic. Next up we have the G-Zone. 4 Die Earths. Die Earth is amazing. He sets with your plays. Usually if you have Laurel, another card in your hand, you're going to do the combo where you get plus 6 in your hand. Because if you counter blast 2, search your deck for a 2 and a 3. Your 3 is probably going to be Great Dayusha. Your 2 is probably going to be a Dijit, so you can put back the Great that you just strode back into your deck. So you can get plus 4k, so it's 30k attacker. And then as long as you have Laurel, another unit, you're good to go with that plus 6, unless they don't perfect guard it with the regular perfect guard. But yeah, and also when you use them the second time, you get to crit. So pressure. Too much pressure. Speaking of pressure, Daikaiser Leon. Counterblast 1, you can unflip this card until the end of the turn. This unit gets a skill. Whenever you drive check a grade 3, you get to pop one of your opponent's guardians. Pretty good when your opponent is at 5 damage. This card's won me games so many times, it's ridiculous. It's a really, really good card. Just the fact that you can just pop like triple drive. Oh, I'm gonna put back some grade 3s and crit maybe, and then just go ham. So yeah, it's funny because they G Guardian and then you just pop their G Guardian. They're like, well, now it's going through. But yeah. For that, next up we have the one-ofs. 1x Rogue. Situational. I really even go into him. Tell you the truth. Oh, and his skill is when he's at 37 or greater, and then his attack hit, you get to draw 1 Papa unit, so. Very good. Usually you can get him by, when you stride, you're at 26, do Jaijet skill, make him 30. If you have another Digit, you can make him 34. Yeah, he's very situational. Like, he's hard to get the skill off because they're not going to let that attack hit sometimes. But, yeah. Next up, we have Dark Superhuman Omega. This card's really, really situational for sometimes when I want to stride into Dire Earth. I usually go into him. You can basically, his skill is Counter Blast 2, Soul Blast 1, put a card in the Soul, and when whatever card you put in the Soul, so if you put a 9k in the Soul, your opponent loses, their front row loses 9k. And you put 11k in the Soul, their front row uses 11. So pretty much that. It's just for more pressure, if anything. It's situational, but I just like to have him in deck just as an out. We have one X Tiger. This card is stupidly good in this deck, especially when you're running out of strides and you have maybe a couple strides left. This is the reason why this card's like a $25 card. He has a cost. He doesn't technically have a cost. His only cost is flipping up a card. And you get plus 4k for each face-up card in your G zone. And when this Vanguard attack is 40 or greater, he gets a critical. So if your deck cards with Leon's not finishing your opponent off, this card usually will. Especially if you know your opponent doesn't have any perfect guards, they will have to G Guardian it. And I've gotten this card off where it's like at 66,000 or at 70,000 attack. And they G Guardian twice, and it's still not enough. So, really good card. Next up, we have one Seabreeze. Seabreeze is another situational card where they're trying to play that little Grey Lock game. You can get around it. Of course, there's ways to get around Seabreeze. We're not giving you the second damage, or you can just keep riding into a Grade 2. If I don't use Seabreeze, he's usually fodder for X Tiger. Next up for the G Guardians, we run 2 of the Enigma Patriot, which it gets plus if your opponent is swinging at 20,000 or greater, which they usually will. It gets plus 5k shield, so it becomes a 20k shield. Mainly reason I'm running this over the new one, which I am still running the new one, which is this guy right here. This card says it has to be at 40,000. I mean, not 40,000, wow. 30,000 or greater. And sometimes your opponent doesn't put a booster behind your opponent's Vanguard. So usually they're just swinging for 26, and that's why I'm going to do this. You can still G Guardian with him. He just won't get the skill. And his skill is basically you discard a card from your hand, and your Vanguard gets plus 4k, so it becomes a 15k Vanguard. So very situational, but he does get me a lot of outs sometimes. Usually these G Guardians are mainly for... I've used them mostly on playtesting my Kagero matchup because Nouvelle says you can't guard Grade 1s or higher, so I usually just save him for these. But yeah, that's what this card is saving for. He's just so very situational. And then another situational card is going to be Dismal. He's just literally for the mirror match. Basically, when you G Guardian him, you can protect one of your rear guards, you give it resist, and he can't be affected by any effects. So, yep. Just for the mirror match. I had to face the one mirror match like at an ARG before, and yeah, I didn't face a lot of it in Team League, but yeah, this deck is really really good. It's really really fun to play. It has the Power Rangers aspect, and I love Power Rangers, as you guys can tell from the playmat you've seen in my video that I play on. It's really really fun deck to play. It's really powerful. I can't say anything more about this deck. This deck is really really fun, and yeah. I mean, that's it. That's it. Let me know what deck you would like to see on the channel. I can get. I have my buddies with me all the time, so we can definitely record stuff. Right now, we're in the process of school and work, so it's kind of hard for us to get the videos. But I'm trying to knock out a video every single week, so you guys have something to watch. So yeah, maybe you get 2 videos a week, maybe you get 1 video a week. Who knows? But also, we're going to be streaming soon, so hopefully that goes into place. If you want all the notifications of when we're going to be streaming, hit the subscribe button. Also, leave a comment. Leave a comment below. We'd like to see what we got here. Maybe we made a misplay. Maybe we could have been like, oh, we should have done this and this. This channel's for you and us to practice, become better, and yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Until next time, I'm out.